we arise, he come with the idea of Mosop, movement for the survival of Ogoni people. I say now so we begin on the 4th day of January, in the year 1993. Ogoni people been arise on a peaceful demonstration. We were marching against genocide, marching against political marginalization. Over 30,000
Right Reverend Dr. Wellington Aji Yobu, an indigenous of Ogoni land and a native of Okwale. I am a minister of Methodist Church, Nigeria, and I'm the current bishop of the Methodist Diocese of Boru. Before I came in here, I served as Bishop of Port Harcourt from 1994 to 2002 and was translated to Boru in the year 2003 till date. What I am saying is to let people know that as an indigenous Ogoni man, we are still where we are, despite the fact that government had made known to the world that there have been very great development in Ogoni land. As the current chairman of Ogoni Indigenous Ministers Forum, we want to speak on behalf of the ministers in Ogoni land. I want to thank the World Council of Churches for extending our invitation to us, at least to hear from us, and to allow our two representatives to be in the meeting. I want to thank them for all their support and for their invitation and sponsoring our two representatives. We are here to let them know that the struggle in Ogoni was spearheaded by Mosop, the movement for the survival of Ogoni people.
Indigenous people have been treated through laws such as are operated in Nigeria today, through political marginalization. They have driven certain people to death. That happened in America and in Australia. They're trying to repeat it in Nigeria, and we do not want it. In recovering the money that has been stolen from us, I do not want any blood spilt. Not of an Ogoni man, not of any strangers amongst us. We are going to demand our rights peacefully, non-violently, and we shall win.
It was a non-violent one, and we still pursue that one. But recent events have shown that Mosop is no longer after the struggle, because government had in its own wisdom and plan bought them over and given to the world the impression that everything had been all right in Ogoni land. And that's why we had to come up to say that things are still even getting worse. And this is why we feel that as ministers who are the religious spokesmen of Ogoni people, we have to let the world know this is the situation in Ogoni land. I want to speak briefly on a few issues, especially on development. Development is still very far from us. As the bishop of Ogoni people, I'm speaking from experience, and I want to say nothing but the truth. In the area of education, I want to thank government that they've introduced free education. But free education is nothing to come by because it has not helped our people. In fact, it has destroyed the educational foundation and standard in the area. Many of the government schools are dilapidated. A visit to the area will tell everybody that the pupils and students are studying under a condition that is not conducive to learning.
Okay, I'm Mr. Charles Kiko, the principal, UB Government Secondary School, Loawi.
Yes, we are just here to see how you been managing with situations like we can see at your back there.
Yes, just as you were saying it. You see, this is the cry we're always been crying to government, that the school system is decaying. And so for that, they should come so that by the time they improve on the infrastructure of the school, value will be added to these children. Because you see, you can't tell me that these days we don't have what we call boarding house system again. And that was what was giving credence to education in those days. Okay. Most of the professors, big shots we have now, they all pass through boarding system of schooling. Okay. But now, they leave our children like that. Just say, for example, now, a 13-year-old girl starting JS1 in another man's village where the school is situated, nobody has facilities, and the parents will have to go and hire a house for that little girl. That girl stays on her own. Anybody can just knock door at any time, raping, anything can happen to that girl because she is not secured. But had it been that girl was in a boarding house system, nothing like that shouldn't have happened. Some certain times, friends will lure her to go out to stroll. Had it been she was in the boarding house system, they should have regulated her because there's timing for everything you do when in the boarding house system. Yes. They wake you in the morning, they tell you when to take your breakfast, they tell you when to stop, they tell you when to go to school, they tell you when to go to prep. You don't see it, and you grow with those things. Okay. And that is why you see that the moral aspect of our children these days is decaying because that part is neglected. Yes. So I think the school should, the government should do something.
So administratively and otherwise, yes. How can you comment on this thing you are saying?
Well, the thing administrative is hampering the proper administration of the school. Okay. You understand? Because you can't live with this kind of thing. You don't have where to stay as a principal, like as I'm standing here. I don't have a decent office. You know, so if structures like this, if structures like this have been taken care of, you can see that the teachers themselves will have accommodation. Okay. They will live on the campus, so they cannot regulate the movement of this. They can have some part-time with them and try to make sure that things go on properly in the school system. Okay. So that is what is the problem we're having here.
When the schools were under the missions, the schools were doing better. And many of those who are in government at this time were the products of mission schools. But now the schools are no more what it should be.
In the first place, I want to appreciate the concern of the Ogoni indigenous ministers for visiting the school. As you can see, as the principal of government secondary school, a community secondary school, Loeku Junior Secondary, the school had this problem of flood disaster. And over some 3-4 months now, it has been very difficult for us to have access to the classroom, as you can see. And it has discouraged most of our staff and students from coming for reasonable academic work. And that has also affected them because when they try to use the environment, it is endemic and they have suffered from guinea pig attack and other guinea pig diseases. So I want to appeal to whichever bodies that is concerned, both government and forestry and the churches and the council of churches, that they should see it as a very important thing to help salvage the Ogoni land and the Ogoni people from this very embarrassing situation. It has been reoccurring, and it was even more than this, just that for a few days, because of the dry nature of this compound, we did not have this experience. So I want to appeal to the body that is concerned to come up and help the school, help the community, help the Ogoni people, so that the students are school in a very empathizing environment. The environment has been so discouraging. It's not an environment that encourages studies. The environment is so bad, and it's not encouraging anything. Even they demoralizes the children, so to speak. And so it doesn't call for anything academic. So I appeal to the body concerned to come up with other strategy, with what assistance they can give to the school, so that they can create a learning environment that can encourage our children to grow in academics and compete with the international community. So that is what I have to say for now. There are so many things that could be done for the school, but for this flood that is embarrassing us, the government or whoever is concerned should come into the situation and salvage us from this imminent problem. Thank you very much.
I've said that many of the schools are dilapidated and the students are not learning as they should.
CPS Bar, Kwapie, Ngozi Nagbara.
Okay. How do you find life here?
We find life here very difficult because the pupils cannot even afford their school material. And parents cannot also provide them with their material because of the condition of the situation. The government is not actually helping us. Look at the type of building we are living in. There is no seat, no textbook, there is nothing whatsoever. So we are actually suffering.
Is this thing built by the community? Is it the community effort that brought this in?
So it is.
So, is this the only people you have, or is it because of absence or what?
They are not the only people we have. Some of them are still at home. Because of the nature of this place, they are not very much interested in coming to school. So there are certain days you will not see any of them because they lack materials. And teachers also find it difficult because at times some of their parents carry them to farm because of the poor condition of the area.
So how do you teach under this environment? How do you teach?
Well, we are managing. We cannot, teachers cannot provide seats. They cannot provide textbooks for the people. We are only managing life here.
It's okay. My dear, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name?
My name is Miracle.
Where are you from?
I'm from Pa.
So, is this your school?
Yes.
What class are you?
Primary 6.
So, what can you tell us about your situation that you don't sit on the decks and you are here? How do you learn?
Our school, we have no chair and books.
Okay.
So, we want the government to provide us chair.
Okay.
In fact, the government schools have become centers of cultism, armed robbery, and corruption in the highest order. Because whether children learn or not, they are promoted. And even those who went through the schools cannot do anything as is expected of them. The next thing I want to talk about is the condition of our roads. The roads to these areas in the area is deplorable. You can only have a few tar roads. In fact, to travel from Port Harcourt to Bori, that would have given you just 45 to 1 hour. You will spend 3 hours because of the bad road and a lot of accidents being caused by the road, by the poor condition of the road. And government is doing nothing about it. Even when you talk of east-west road or those undertaken by the state government. To get to the rural areas, it is a sorrow sight. you cannot get into some of the villages in Ogoni land. These people are suffering untold hardship.
Moi comme diamant begbene saga tokpiane sapiane na da na abate yara bu sa dene de bagate yakema sana yane ari ton wa monatanga wi asi kire ara pe ora tema ko nonde be ko lo no da tu ra tema nale ya ton du kembari ne de do ya lukasi dum piane do kem nyo wile do ka ele ebu ba le do akia because porok de mi trenu na ko le no anikma.
Thank God that they have pushed this motorbike from Port Harcourt, and it's the most serious means of transport in there because they can wade through gallops and waterlogged roads into the villages. And this has rendered the economic situation of the people very useless.
Well, I'm here now to speak to the world on what we are passing through. Because I could see that people say that we are in democracy system of government in Nigeria. But the way they are treating Ogoni people, I don't even know either we are slaves to them or not. Because majority are not working. Much of us are graduates, but we are on Okada, riding Okada. Then